One day, a singing teacher was caught scolding a female student who was 10 years old at the time. He said, "You sing like the son of a god." Words that student will never forget it along her life. On the next 10 years after, time lapse has passed. The teacher was caught gaping when he watched a television program featuring a beautiful famous artist singing with an impressive voice named Shakira. As he knows that she was his student who couldn't sing at all. Listen for you. Never judge a book just by its cover. Grandma Lisa told a story to her friend, Grandma Betty. Every year, I always send a transfer check to my grandchildren, but I never heard the slightest news from them, even just to say thank you, she said sadly. Grandma Betty chimed in. Every month, I always send a transfer check to my grandchildren. 3 days later, they will definitely come to visit me. Wow, your grandchildren are great, praised Grandma Lisa. It's not so. Every time I send a check, I never sign it first. The lesson we can take from this story is that intelligence can change everything to be better. A male genie marries a female genie. A human comments, "I don't know what they mean by getting married. What can they do? Didn't they can't visibly between each other?" A friend who was no less stupid chimed in. "Yes, let alone their future children and grandchildren. How will they know their father and mother?" Red thread that we can take from this story is, never judge other people based on your own inadequate level of knowledge. Ask if you don't know yet. Learn if you don't understand. Keep quiet if you have nothing to discuss. Then you will be safe of ridiculousness. At one sport and fitness place, a gym instructor calls a young person who stands outside to come into the gym training area. Then he showed off various sophisticated equipment to shape the body for a strong and beautiful body. He showed the young man two kinds of advanced tools he had. Choose which tool is more interesting for you to be used as a sports tool. The young man looked in another direction. Then his hand pointed to the refrigerator, which stored fresh fruits and drinks in it. Lesson for you. Get to know who person 4 you want to talk to. A doctor speaks words to a young mother who just gave birth to 8 twin babies while still lying on her back on bed. Congratulations on the birth of the baby safely. I can't imagine how happy the man who is their husband and father feels. When the doctor spoke, he didn't know that the wife who was lying on her back saw her husband trying to commit suicide by jumping from the multi-story building from behind the window. One thing you have to understand, what we think about other people, it does not have to be the same as what they think. A boy found himself better after fighting with another boy who's bigger body than him. A friend who couldn't bear to see his condition said, "Be patient, practice self-defense, so that you can protect yourself since tomorrow." "No," answered the boy. With a chest full of anger, he said again, "When I grow up one day, I will repay that boy's treatment with the same treatment he did me today," he said while non-stop sobbing. Lesson you can take from this story, don't delay the time to do it, because everyone has the same time and opportunities. One day, an old grandfather who was already in an old condition had a conversation with a neighbor who was still young. He said, "In the past, I deliberately didn't do anything, and today, it turns out, I've been able to complete what I didn't want to do at the time." He said with a heart full of pride. Until the young man became confused, seeing the condition of grandfather's body who could barely do anything. Lesson you can take from this story. Make the most of your time while you can. There's no guarantee that tomorrow will be better than today. Motivate yourself to do the necessary thing, or not to be stupid in old age. If indeed, God still allows you to arrive at the time. Every morning, a deer in the wilderness wakes up from its sleep to go grazing. He knew he had to move faster than a fast-moving lion, or he'll die silly by it. Every morning, the lion also wakes up and goes out to look for prey to survive. He understands that he must be able to move faster than a fast-moving deer. Otherwise, he will starve to death. It doesn't matter whether you want to be a lion or a deer. Once the sunlight has downed, what you need is to move fast in a life that's full of competition. Take action sooner to change the situation. One day, a rich man invited his son to go on holiday to poor people's village, with the aim of teaching his beloved son with a good lesson. They stayed for several days in a small house in a remote village. The father asked the child afterward, "My son, how do you feel?" The child answered, "We have many servants who are ready to serve us, but they are even able to serve themselves. We have one cat, they have four more. We have a swimming pool in the garden. They have a river beside the rice field with clear water that never stops flowing. We have a big building to protect us. They have many friends who are ready to defend them anytime. We have fancy lamps for lighting, while they have the moon and stars shining all in the nights long. Thank you, Father. This has opened my mind to the fact that we are actually very poor." Two dogs entered the same room at different times. One dog came wagging his tail as a sign he was happy. Another dog came and growled as if he was sad. A woman watched the two dogs, curious to see what was causing the two dogs to have different expression. After he entered the room, he found many mirrors displayed there. The happy dog to see lots of other happy dogs around him. That makes him even happier. The sad dog saw many other sad dogs growled on his right and left sides. That made his heart even sadder. What you see around you, that's a reflection of what is within you. Life rolls on like a party. You spread invitation to many people. Some arrive on time. Some arrived late. Some go home early. Others stay overnight. Someone is laughing with you. Some even laugh at you. Until finally, when the party was over, some survived just to finish off the leftovers. There are some who sincerely help you. They clean up the rubbish scattered around. Actually, they are not part of people who cause piles of rubbish to be scattered around. Remember, these people are your real friends. When a bird is still alive, it will let ants as delicious food. When birds are dying, the ants will come in a line, waiting for their turn to eat the bird as a big fortune. A single tree can be used to make a million of matchsticks, but a matchstick is enough to burn millions of trees. Circumstances can change at any time, according to wishes from the Creator of the universe. So never humiliate or hurt anyone's feeling. Maybe you feel very strong today, but realize the time rolls will be much stronger than just your own power. One time a little boy was playing with his female friend. The boy has a large collection of marbles in his shirt pocket. The little girl was carrying some candies in her small bag. The boy offers to exchange all his marbles for all the girl's candies. Then she agrees. Then the boy cunningly immediately hid some of the best marbles in his other pocket. He gave the rest to the girl. Without thinking badly, the girl immediately handed over all the candies from her bag to the boy as agreed. At night, the little girl sleeps soundly with a free mind. The boy couldn't sleep all night. His heart was troubled by bad thoughts about the girl, who he suspected she had hidden some of her other candies as he did. The lesson you can take from the story is, what you see in another people, that is the state of your own heart. A child in his field saw a plane flying above his head. He dreamed of always being able to fly like that. Meanwhile, the pilot on the plane dreams of going home like the farmer's son. If wealth were the key to happiness, all rich people would dance in the streets, just as poor people did. If power is a guarantee for security, there is no need for high-ranking official to be escorted everywhere. If beauty and fame are a guarantee for a harmonious marriage, there is no need to celebrity divorces to be heard in many media. So live as you wanna live should be. A man came into the bathroom shortly after his wife had finished showering and started wiping her body with a towel. The doorbell rang. Immediately the wife, still with a towel wrapped around her body, ran to the door to see who had come. When she opened the door, the man next door was standing in front of her. Before he spoke any word, the neighbor said, "Drop your towel, I'll give you 100,000. Without more thinking, the woman dropped the towel wrapped around her body until she stood naked. Then the man handed over 100 notes as he promised. After the woman came back in, her husband asked, "Who came?" "The man next door," said the wife. "Good. Does he leave 100 that I want to borrow from him?" Lesson for you. Be wise to yourself, thinking before acting. Three people appear to walking together in one room. They are a boss, driver, and assistant who want to have a lunch. Without realizing it, they found a magical lantern at the corner. They immediately rubbed it together. So the genie who was waiting for the lantern came out and said, "I'll grant one request from each of you." The driver preceded the others in making a request. "I wanna go on holiday to Bali Island with lots of money." Whoosh! He disappeared according to his request. "I'm gonna be visiting Hollywood to see famous artists and have lots of money," asked the assistant. Whoosh! She also disappeared as requested. "What do you ask for?" asked the genie to the boss. "I just want them to come back after lunch." The lesson you can take is, never step over the person who is as your boss. A woman wants to test her husband's level of love. She wrote on a piece of paper, saying that she was very tired of living together, and she would go far away never to return. Then put it on the bedroom table while crawling under the bed, while waiting for her husband to go home. She wanted to know how her husband would react. The door opened, the husband appeared. Then he read the writing paper on the table, and he seemed adding writing to the paper. He seemed to be calling someone and saying, "Darling, finally the day we were hoping for has come. That fool has gone far, so we are free to meet at any time. See you later, darling." And the husband immediately left again afterward. The wife under the bed looked in deep shock. Her heart was torn apart. She thought her husband was nothing more than a bastard. She was starting to despair of herself. Then she rushed out from under the bed to the paper she had written on earlier. Surprised when she read, I saw your thumb sticking out from under the hole, fool. I'm just going out to buy cigarettes for a moment. Listen, you can learn. Think carefully before planning. Execute it as neatly as possible so that you don't become ridiculous with it. A turkey said to his Plymouth buffalo, I want to be at the top of the tree, but I don't have enough strength to reach it. Buffalo said, just eat my feces, it contains high nutrients. After the turkey ate the buffalo dung, it apparently gained the strength to reach the lowest branches of the tree. The next day he ate buffalo dung again and reached the second twig. On the third day he ate again until he reached the top of the tree. Then he perched proudly, but not long after, a hunter saw him and shot him dead. Listen for you, be careful with ambition and success, because it has a potential to cause your downfall to come earlier than it should. A little bird flies north when winter arrives. His body froze for a moment on air. Then he fell in the middle of a wide field. A cow came and defecated on the bird's body that was lying on its back in the cold. The little bird felt warmth in the cow's dung. Not long after, he felt his body recover. His heart was happy, and he whistled a sweet song. A cat heard a noise, saw the bird standing on a pile of cow dung. So he immediately pounced on it and ate it. A lesson you can learn here. Not everyone who seems evil has evil intention, and not everyone who welcomes you out of the trap is your friend. A man came home very drunk. At the door, his wife greeted him with an inflamed heart. Where have you been? From the Goldie Bar, the man answered. It means? The wife asked again. Everything is made of gold, the doors, floors, and windows. Even the pea are made of gold. After babbling incoherently, the wife left her drunk husband. Then she took the husband's phone and looked for the number on the Goldie Bar. After getting it, she called the number. Hello, is this a Goldie Bar? That's right. Are your floors made of gold? That's right. Is your pea also made of gold? There was no answer for a little longer. Then she heard the man on the phone say to his friend, Hi Matt, I think I have found the whereabouts of the man who urinated on your saxophone last night. Listen for you, there is no safe hiding from all your bad behavior. Greetings.